Too often we are hearing about a child dying after being left in a hot car. 29 children have died this year alone. In July, there were 11 deaths. Earlier in the year, 2 U.S. senators introduced bipartisan legislation, that was in fact just last month, requiring all new passenger vehicles to be equipped with a child safety alert system. It's called the Hot Car Act. Joining us this morning is Sarah Haverstick. She is a child safety expert. Good morning to you. Thank you for joining us. This is such an important topic because people assume and often criticize parents thinking, hey, this will never happen to me because who could ever forget their child in the car? And it happens all the time.
You're absolutely right, and it is the most challenging thing about this topic is that nobody thinks it's going to happen to them, and unfortunately it really can, and it can happen to anybody. On average, it's 37 children every single year. So the most important thing that parents can do is recognize, number one, this could happen to you, but then number two, there's things that we can do to prevent this, and we need to understand what that education is instead of just ignoring the fact that you don't think it will happen to you. And the most important thing that you can do is just start to create some reminder systems for yourself. Always check that back seat. Every time you get out of the vehicle, make that your regular routine. Opening the back door and checking to see if the child is in there.
Can you tell us a little bit about the new technology? I know that I was watching a video just yesterday preparing for this interview that specifically involved kind of this high-tech car seat.
Yes, so at Even Flow, we decided to go the route of technology and to introduce something new that could help give caregivers that regular reminder that the child is in the vehicle. So the car seat comes equipped with a smart chest clip, and then you also get this OBD receiver plug. So this goes into the onboard diagnostic port of your vehicle. This is the only piece that's a little bit different from the regular car seat. So you insert that receiver plug into the vehicle once, and then you just leave it there and use the car seat the same way you would always use the car seat. When you're driving around with your child, you buckle them in the same way that you always buckle them, but when you get to your destination, if that child is in that car seat, you're going to, as soon as you cut off the ignition, hear some reminder tones to alert you that the child is in the vehicle with you.
And I know that you touched on this at the beginning, but I really do feel like it's just so important to kind of use some examples also, if you don't mind. This is not a situation where oftentimes these are callous parents who don't love their children, but often what happens is there's some change in routine, and as a result, they just simply forget that the kid's in the back seat.
Absolutely. Unfortunately, there have been 6 fatalities just in Florida this year, and very often it's the caregiver that isn't normally dropping off at child care. So, you know, if you're the parent that always takes the child to child care, that's great. That's part of your regular habit and your regular routine. But if your routine is work, or home to work every single day, on that one occasion that you might be traveling with the child, it's really easy for your brain to just go on autopilot and do that same thing that you do every single day already.
So what about this legislation? I know it was just entered and brought up, in fact, proposed late last month, so in July. Where are we in the process of making this become a reality for so many parents?
So I think it's something, you know, I don't know what the current status is, but it's something where it's always a good idea to go ahead and contact your local legislature. As you mentioned, this was bipartisan legislation, so this is a good opportunity to contact your state or your representative or your senator and let them know that children in hot cars, this is something that unfortunately, as you said, we see every single year, and it's an important topic to be thinking about.
You have to be your child's voice. Sarah Haverstick joining us live. Thank you, Sarah. Appreciate it.